All right. The next part of the judge test of IVA 2024 is the exhibitions result. So let's start. How actually the result of the exhibitions look like. All right. So for the general overview, we also saw from the judges have some interesting result as well. Some of the judges vote for the affirmative. Some of the judges also vote for the negative. Basically, we have a quite balanced result for F and also for negative. But on the motions of this House prefer word where wealth is seen as shameful, under the CAP member also we come into the split, which is 3-1 for the negative with a close margin and also the speaker score. The reasons behind of the close debate is because both of the CAP member also feels that teams in affirmative and also in negative primarily focus on developing their own ideas without sufficiently challenging each other's arguments. While they sometimes have an attempt to refute the opposing's arguments, but we don't think that this kind of the refutation is something that is also enough to debunk and also win the exchange that both teams have before. So these kind of the refutation sometimes weak and also unconvincing. That's the reasons why it's not way enough to make at the end of the day the margins or events the results become clear at the end of the day. The CAP member also highlight that there is a very little comparisons between the two sides on how actually the word would look like with and also without this kind of the narrative. Since this is a previous motions and also the word comparative, I think that's the reasons why the CAP member, this kind of the likeness of both them is something that is very important and crucial into the debate, especially also on the emphasize how shame would also affect the scenario, whether inside of F and also inside of negative. Additionally, the lack of the comparisons is also resulted in each side focusing only more into the net benefit and also the harms that might be happens. Yep, next. So the reasons behind why some of the CAP member vote for the negative is there are two things. The first, in terms of the urgency of impact, we feel like the negative side weakens the urgency of the affirmative side's arguments regarding the problem of wealth accumulations and also the unlikelihood of wealth redistributions. Negative emphasize that wealth can be obtained through hard work and also the individual ability on it, and that it can also further incentivize people to benefit society, such as through funding green technology to save the environments, which directly class also the point of side of affirmative, talking about why at the end of the day, the pursuits of wealth itself is going to be harmful, especially in terms of the environmental degradations and etc. And that it can also um, involve and also benefit the society of medical research and also liberations. In this way, the negative side highlight the uncertainty of the harms presented by the affirmative side. Since affirmative also did not really explain and also engage to the negative claims as the reasons why it less likely to be happens, and also why at the end of the day, this kind of the possibility of people are going to still harmful when they have this particular wealth. I think that's the reasons why the CAP member feels that the uncertainty of harms coming from side of affirmatives already being neutralized by side of neg. The second reason is because under the idea of better word comparisons, the negative side is likely more persuasive in its comparisons to the affirmative side, especially when negative point out why without this kind of the shame, this kind of the individuals still have the interest or even the incentive to also doing a good things and also doing some redistributions of their wealth into a good things and benefit the society in such. While the affirmative side starts strong by arguing that the pursuit and also the redistributions of wealth will be harmful, but at the end of the day, we feel that it fails to clearly explain how actually the word will look like and better underside of affirmative. At this point, negative further weakens the affirmative urgency and also the word comparisons by pointing out that shaming is likely to be less effective in a word where it is relies on the human's interest and also resulted into further less check and balance that might be happening in affirmative side. Although side of affirmatives trying to point out that without this kind of the narrative is going to be a better word, but at the end of the day, the CAP member feels there is lack of the mechanizations how actually it's going to be look like and how at the end of the day this shameful is going to be an effective tools to actually control the behavior of the people, and also the word is going to be better in terms of behavior of the people and also the harms that affirmative also possess at the very beginning. That's the reasons why some of the CAP member vote for side of negative. For the reasons why also affirmative have the possibility to win the debate? I would like to pass it to Tere to explain it further.
Okay, Tere here. I will explaining two section in this exhibition result. Number one, tipping point as to why affirmative can won the debate based on the perspective of the CAP lineup. But second, talking about speaker scores that the CAP teams give to the each debater in the exhibition round. First section then, talking about the reason as to why affirmative won this exhibition. I think we think as a CAP, there is a two main reasons as to why affirmative won in compared to a negative. Number one, picturization of harms. CAP thinks the affirmative side managed to list the harms of people not seeing wealth as a shameful thing, which leads to human greed. This grid creates several impacts in society, explained by Prime Minister and extended by DP, second affirmative and also third affirmative, such as the destruction of the environment, because people keep being greedy and the only way for them to can accumulate wealth and also hoarding resources by extracting the natural resources. Inequality between the rich and the poor, because the rich keep hoarding the resources and don't want to do the redistribution, for example, because they think that having as much wealth as possible is a good thing and glorify in status quo right now, and other harm that's shortlisted by the first affirmative. They explain the nature and the process of accumulating wealth that directly imposes harm. For example, being selfish and not caring about the others, and you will think that the process of you gaining wealth is not important. The most important thing is the result of you gaining wealth. Therefore, you will always be evil, for example, to other people, or you don't care about the harm that you impose in the process of you gaining those wealth, or never feeling enough because you always want more and more wealth. I think even if we think even if as a CAP, negative did attempt to neutralize the harm that caused by the affirmative side. I think at best the harm that given by the negative is only neutralize the harm by saying that, for example, the distribution also exists in negative, or for example, the impact of shame is not that impactful to rich individual, but we think at some point the harm that posed by the government, such as by affirmative, such as never feeling enough, for example, or the metrics of the metrics of happiness from wealth is measurable, therefore you never feel enough still stands. At best, opposition only can prove that other metrics is also as harmful as wealth, or proof that the benefits of government still exist in opposition without necessarily proof why it's better, since the process the affirmative already proved that the process of accumulating wealth is inherently harmful. So even affirmative won in the a priori against opposition, because regardless of the impact of you gaining wealth, the process of you accumulating the wealth itself already harmful and in principle wrong. But second reason, weighing and building of world. The affirmative side is successfully building their world by explaining how this shame will manifest and how people right now perceive wealth in their counterfactual, leading to their benefit and a comparative convincing in the end. For example, affirmative side picturize that redistribution and a tendency to seek other form of fulfillment by set in the first affirmative the clear picturization of how their world will look like, by explaining that in the comparative counterfactual of affirmative world, since you were born, for example, you always got doctrined by your parents that the process of you hoarding wealth is something that is shameful, for example, that you having a lot of money is not a good thing, that you want to be rich is something that should be prevent from doing it, for example. I think it creates the impact from this narrative since the beginning from affirmative side by proving to us that there is an internal tendency and feeling guilt from the people in our affirmative side not to pursue wealth regardless the shame that comes from people surrounding them. So it makes all of the benefits coming from government become more convincing because they explain how people perceive this narrative and why they will act in government or affirmative side of the house. More than that, affirmative team did much weighing to prove why their winning case is so much more important compared to the negative case. which broke the deadlock in a really close debate in exhibition debate. For example, when affirmative reply explained that regardless of the individual happiness that occur in opposition is not important because probably it's micro impact that affects poor people that in both sides will be live under misery anyway. But when talking about the advance of humanity because people become less and less selfish, or the redistribution incentive from rich people, because right now in affirmative rich people will feel guilty and feel shameful when they hoarding resources, is something that is more impactful in the scope of benefit, exactly because it affects many layers in society. It affects certain country, it even affects world, for example, because right now people want to innovate for cure of cancer, for example. This type of weighing is the one that makes we think as a makes us think as a CAP that even if at some point deadlock happened in this debate, and also many IAs agree with this situation that some deadlock happen in some clashes. Government is the or affirmative side is the only side that willing to sacrifice the losing point and prove by the winning point that they have in affirmative is much more important compared to the losing point that exists in their side. This is something that opposition or negative never did, that makes the point coming from negative for us sounds kinda dismissive to the uh, interaction and dynamic of the debate by only cherry picking and glorify the winning point from negative, and not necessarily do direct comparison with the losing point and why it's not important or not significant compared to the point that they win against affirmative. That is why overall we give affirmative one, or several or one of the cap in the lineup give one to affirmative side. Next, about speaker scores. This is the most crucial part because the overview that we see as a SCAP is most of the IS and in-depth and also N2 tend to overscoring several debaters and don't want to use the full range scoring of the debate. This is really important to note because probably later in the competition, you might judge the debater that you know previously before the competition, or probably you will judge debater that you never know before, or a newbie or a novice, for example. So to keep in note that you need to tone down your bias or halo, for example, and willing to give lower or higher score depends on their actual performance and content in their speech. This is the range that we give as a CAP to the debater. Starting from affirmative, we give first affirmative range 75 to 76, second affirmative 73, third affirmative 76 until 77, and for affirmative reply is 38 until 38.5. In the opposite is negative, we give first negative 76 until 77 in a range, second negative solid 77, third negative range 73 until 74, and last negative reply is 37 until 37.5. The reason as to why we give those scorings to the debaters that did the exhibition round is because in first affirmative, we think there is a several things to be reviewed. Number one, he did a great establishment of the harm, especially surrounding greediness, by explaining that most likely people in status quo right now become greedy and have incentive to hoarding as much resources as possible to the offer glorification of wealth and being rich. But second, there is also a good point from first affirmative by explaining solid setup and clear model from affirmative that support their argument, by explain how the world will look like under affirmative, what type of teaching will exist in school, what type of doctrine that their parents will give to their children, for example. This is something that exists since first affirmative that makes the picturization and building of the new world in these house promotions become really important and contributive, since in affirmative they have burden to give as much picturization as possible in order for their benefits to fly. But there is also several lacks that exist in first affirmative that makes us think that the speech coming from first affirmative can be higher than 76. Number one, lack of comparative as to why all the harms can be solved under affirmative due to the lack of structural reasons in relation to how the narrative can directly correlate to the real solution of the problem. First, affirmative never explain why with the in their counterfactual, suddenly people become selfless, suddenly the manifestation of people don't want to accumulate their wealth is by keeping the environment or protecting the environment, or just suddenly rich people want to redistribute their money. This is something that is jumpy in first affirmative. Or second, lack of characterization of important actors that got impacted by this motion that makes all the harm that are the shoplifts and established in the first affirmative become questionable and less convincing. We questioning the importance of those harms and benefits shoplift by the first affirmatives, since there is no framing. Who is the actor that we talk about? Why they are really important? Why they should be protected in both worlds? This is something that is missing in first affirmative. Second affirmative. Why we think the second affirmative got solid 73? Two reasons why affirmative is good. One, second affirmative is good. One, he extending non-mechanized point of first affirmative about inaccessibility of wealth as a purpose of happiness and life using examples. For example, he explained to us that it's really important to pander to other type of happiness, such because the happiness that you get from wealth is not accessible to us everyone. They engage with the explanation coming from first of negative by said that wealth is inaccessible due to the several reasons, such as lottery of birth, or if you're poor people, you don't have the same starting point. Therefore, it's unfair for them because they can gain happiness in the end in current status quo. But second affirmative also explain and broad potential extension about counterfactual of happiness in affirmative. There is better rather than pursuit of wealth by saying that there is something that is more intangible that you can pursue right now when there is no over glorification of wealth in affirmative side. But what is the lacks of second affirmative until we think that he can go higher than 73? Two things. First, many benefits are under mechanized and serve only as assertion, such as when he explained that with the absence of the world in negative, people will seek other meaning of happiness. He never mentioned what type of happiness that will exist in affirmative side, why is a better comparative, or why it's necessarily at least not impose the same harm as pursuit of wealth. This is something that never explained in second negative and only exist, second affirmative and only exists as an assertion. But second affirmative also fail to engage to many contexts and contribution from first negative, since there is a lot of new contribution and also even new analysis of burden that comes in first negative. So in conclusion, CAP think that second affirmative to some extent failed to fulfill his role as a second affirmative to engage to a new dynamic of the debate. That is why we think he can go higher than 73. Third affirmative. As to why we think that third affirmative in the range of 76 until 77. Two pros coming from third affirmative. First, recognize the point about personal happiness from first affirmative and why is the most important thing in the debate. Since first affirmative allocate a lot of times to explain macro benefit, such as how it advancing the humanity, for example, or it creates better environment in general because people become more selfless or do redistribution. I think the point about personal happiness and hedonistic treadmill become under mechanized, a bit under mechanized in first affirmative, and third affirmative is the one that crystallizes the benefit and manifests the harm of personal happiness that directly engage with the biggest identity of negative. But second, it's also automatically made third affirmative engage with strong points from negative about which happiness is better and why the condition of society will be worse in negative, because he is the only one in affirmative that explain as to why accusation from negative about other happiness is also harmful and also inaccessible become less convincing, because he's the one that explain the reason as to why other type of fulfillment such as religion or community become toxic is also because of wealth. It's also because of greediness. This is something that really engage to the harm of negative. But also the lack of third affirmative exists. So we can give third affirmative higher than 76 or 77. Two things. One, let's attempt to engage to second negative new established attention about counterfactual of happiness in affirmative, because second negative give a lot of picturization as to why most likely the happiness that comes from other is also to some extent force you to do an evil thing that the first affirmative established, such as destroying the environment, for example, because you get external push or peer pressure from your community because you love your community so much, or you and your community push you to sacrifice your environment for them, for example. Or when second negative explain that the other type of happiness is also inaccessible, that makes you questioning whether or not you already achieve your goal or whether or not you're already successful. This is something that makes you always questioning your journey. This is something that makes you never feel enough. This is something that that third affirmative never actually engaged to, that makes the new extension and also explanation coming from second negative stand strong due to the lack of response coming from third affirmative. But lastly, mostly the response coming from third affirmative is only neutralizing without attempting further to negate the harms from negative, such as flipping as to way that other type of happiness is necessarily better, for example, or why most likely the other uh, alternative of seeking happiness in affirmative is mindfulness, for example, or friend. There is no likelihood or structural incentive explained by the third affirmative that makes the counterfactual of government still quite shaky at some point and questionable due to the minimum elaboration on their positive case. First negative. Why we think first negative exists in a spectrum of 76 until 77. Two good thing from her. Number one, great engagement to harms posed by affirmative side, because many case coming from first negative is a negative case that successfully at least neutralize the harm that comes from first affirmative, such as explaining that redistribution also exists to some extent, or why the impact or of shame that brought by the first affirmative is not that strong until it impacts the most important actor that we talk, in which rich people, to do redistribution, or to even attempt to explain why redistribution is even better under opposition. I think there is a huge attempt coming from first negative to debunk and negate the case of first affirmative. But second, I think first negative also established principle about pursuit of wealth as a new metric in the debate and characterize the actor in the debate and why they're the most important thing that never explained in the first speaker exchange that we think as a CAP makes the debate clearer since beginning by explaining that we should talk about poor and middle class individual, because in current status quo they're the one that struggle the most, they're the one that live in misery, for example. Therefore they need more source of happiness and freedom to pursue something that they really like or really love, or establish principle about why pursuit of wealth is really important to access, because it makes you independent, it's fruit of your hard work, people should be ashamed about it. For example, this is something that at least try to engage with the process of pursuing wealth coming from first affirmative. That is why it also adds context to the debate. But there is also two major lacks that exist in first negative. Number one, failed attempts to prove why the new burden posed by first negative is the right one, because first negative never explained when she said that this debate is never about process of gaining those wealth, but instead when people already have their wealth, whether or not they should feel shame. I think this is a new counterfactual or new counter burden that first negative introduced to the debate, but sadly never explain why this is the right burden and why the burden that sets in the setup of first affirmative is the wrong burden. That is why in the virtue of affirmative and fiat of affirmative, it's become really questionable the burden that comes from first negative, even though it's potential. But second, the first negative also have minimum elaboration on the positive case. Not that it's bad, but in the in this debate, when there is a lot of deadlock and minimum attempt of engagement that successfully flipping the debate, positive case become really contributive and Cap think that it will become much more better and result into higher score of first negative if first negative successfully provide the positive case and why the benefit that exists exclusively in first negative is better rather than affirmative side. Second negative, as to why second negative got solid 77 but can't go higher than 77. Two good thing from him. First, great picturization to crystallize the benefit of first negative word freedom to pursue happiness. Since this is the biggest chunk of identity from negative, this has become crucial to extend and also manifest the benefits of first negative because second negative is the only one that explain why giving choice to people to pursue happiness is really important, why other type of source of happiness is toxic, for example, or wealth is the best form of goal of life, and also give a lot of picturization as to why the process of pursuing wealth is not going to be that toxic, or even the process of pursuing happiness from other metrics is also as toxic as well, or even more toxic. But more than that, extend first negative point with extension that explain why counterfactual of affirmative is worse, and successfully neutralize all the harm coming from affirmative by explaining that if the parameter of toxic coming from first negative affirmative to pursue happiness is because of inaccessibility, second negative managed to explain that other type of happiness is also inaccessible by giving a lot of example, by clearly picturize the condition that exists in other metrics such as religion that also give you external pressure, that also expect you something, that also force you to be evil. This is something that uh, we think as a cap makes us questioning the exclusivity of harm coming from affirmative, but also there is cons that makes us can give second negative higher than 77 is because simplistic engagement to the argument posed by affirmative that only neutralize the harm because he never flips as to why uh, he never flips as to why the inaccessibility is even worse in their side, in affirmative side of the house. The attempt that exists in second negative is by only until the level of explanation that explain other type of happiness or other type of life goal is also as inaccessible as wealth, but never explain why if both or all type of happiness is inaccessible, why the glorification, specifically the glorification of wealth that exists in negative, is still better, knowing the fact that uh, wealth is also to some extent accessible. This is a burden that second negative failed to prove. But lastly, third negative, as to why third negative get 73 until 74. Two good things from him. First, good attempt to add importance to wealth that becomes the prerequisite of positive case from negative to fly. But second, attempt to engage to how the world will look like under affirmative. He explained a lot of things, such as how these rich people uh, doesn't get affected by the narrative this much. They don't care about the shame coming from a poor individual because they live in a different bubble. They live in their own echo chamber. They never heard the protest coming from poor people anyway. They don't have empathy and couldn't empathize poor people anyway because they don't have closer proximity. This is something that uh, we think as a CAP really good because it attempt to crystallize the benefit of opposition or negative that try to explain that the shame and also the uh, alternative to mitigate harm in affirmative not going to work or not going to be effective, but also attempt to engage to how the world will look like under affirmative is really good by explaining that education is not going to be that impactful to rich people since rich people gonna uh, live with their parents that's also rich anyway with the same type of mindset. They will be friend with the people that also want to pursue money, for example. This is something that we appreciate as a cap because it adds the dynamic to the debate and adds importance to the negative benefit. But last two cons as to why we can give negative higher than third negative higher than 74 is because lack of weighing. There is no weighing as to why personal fulfillment is the most important thing that to be talked in this debate. There is no attempt to adjust to the dynamic of the debate, since there is a lot of new potential point coming from third affirmative. There is no attempt to engage to the new material or new contribution coming from third affirmative, just as engagement that exists in third affirmative that explain that other type of happiness is better because it creates less expectation. It's not measurable, so you can compare it with other people, or explanation such as the reason as to why other type of happiness in current status quo is become toxic is exactly because of wealth. This is a really strong engagement coming from third negative that unfortunately third affirmative that unfortunately third negative failed to engage to. But for affirmative reply, as to why we think as a cap affirmative reply get higher than negative reply is because two things. First, great weighing to affirmative contribution that break the massive deadlock in the debate. Affirmative reply is the only reply in this debate that explain, even though at worst affirmative lose in the micro level debate, why micro level is not important, why happiness of poor people that negative want to protect is not important. This is something that makes the benefit of opposition become questionable. But second, good on pointing out the unfair burden imposed by negative, by pointing out that negative can't enter this debate by said that rich people don't care about the existence of inequality, with the existence of poor people that right now also want their money, because number one, this is a reset world, and number two, there is active doctrination since they are born that accumulation of wealth is something that is shameful. Therefore, it's not fair for negative to say that these rich people not get impacted by this motion. But even if affirmative reply is really good and convincing, we think as a CEP, he could highlight more the engagement made by third affirmative that debunk the biggest chunk of the negative about personal happiness, since third negative is the only one that crystallized the impact that exists in first affirmative argument about personal impact. So it's really important to largering the margin in the tight or close debate. But since affirmative reply didn't do that, yeah, unfortunately, this debate still close because of that. Lastly, negative reply. As to why negative reply can go higher than affirmative reply or even equal with affirmative reply is because lack of direct comparative with affirmative side in their winning point, because the speech mostly only highlight the winning clash of negative, but not necessarily engage with the losing point that comes from negative, for example, that makes their reply sounds dismissive, even if there is lack of direct comparative. We think negative reply still managed to highlight the non-mechanized points from affirmative by summarize the debate well. Therefore, we don't think that the negative reply can go below 37. It's still an okay reply that can successfully summarize the debate to the judge and makes the judge easier to give the tipping point to certain team in this debate. That is why we give all those scorings to all the debaters that do the exhibition round. That's all for the exhibition result, and good luck for all the judges tomorrow that will judge the IVET 2024. Thank you.